Hi, I'm Barb Kramer. This is Norm Tiedemann. Jeannie Badger and Adam Badger may be joining when we get onto Discord. They were supposed to be here, but couldn't be. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the High Tech Kids volunteer process, first registration and High Tech Kids sign up. Then we'll talk about tournaments, kind of how they'll work in general, and then we'll get into Discord, and we're actually going to do some hands-on practice when we get to Discord. So first, sign up. This is required every year. So if you did it last year, you have to do it again this year. We use first for the background check, and there's a consent and release form. You need to complete both of those on first. For the Discord manager, we only set that roll up on the first LEGO League tournament volunteer event. So choose that one even if you want to help with FTC, because that's the one that we're using. And we do have a role of Discord monitor admin, so you can choose that if you'd like. If you're doing other things, that's okay. We'll keep track of the fact that you were here by the fact that you were here. If you need help with that step-by-step video, but with first registration, we do have a video that steps through it step by step by step, and it assumes a new user, but there's some interesting things for a returning user as well. So that's out on our volunteer resources page. Next is High Tech Kids sign up. We don't really use the first system to schedule our volunteers, so we need you to do this as well. So, okay, 2 signups. We're going to need Discord admin for both First LEGO League Challenge and for First Tech Challenge. On our volunteer sign-up page, we have a role called Streaming Monitor Admin, and we need, it has dates when we have tournaments, it has weekdays and weekends. Don't worry about the weekdays, we're doing that a different way. But if you could mark the weekends that you're available, you don't get scheduled unless you mark that you're available at some point. Then for the weekdays, what we're doing with weekdays is First LEGO League robot runs. For weekdays, we're using a 2020 FLL referees page to get availability because we have 8 different time slots between Sunday and Wednesday, and we need to know who's available for what and how many you want to do. So use that. There's 1 survey per week. And I think I have a picture. So here's our website. Get involved, volunteer with us. The sign up to volunteer button is there, and the 2020 FLL referees page is there as well. And this is what the referees page looks like. We need name and email, number of sessions that you're willing to do. There's like 8 sessions for each of these, starting with actually Sunday and then Monday after school and Monday evening. And at the bottom there's a note, and if in the note you could put Discord admin, that would help us to know that you're not refereeing, you're a Discord admin. Then as far as getting scheduled to volunteer, we will schedule Discord admins just like we do referees and judges for the Monday, actually even for the referee time slots, it'll be by day and time slot. So it might be like 1 o'clock on a Sunday for 3 hours. And those are like 2 or 3 hour chunks of time. The weekend assignments are for like a full day tournament. That is typically when we're doing judging, both for First LEGO League and for FTC. And that's an 8:30 to 3 o'clock, thereabouts, time commitment, and we would expect someone to be on kind of that whole time and helping. Norm schedules FTC. I schedule FLL volunteers, so watch for an email from one of the 2 of us. We hope to send December assignments next week.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. So middle of November, and we'll send January assignments in the middle of December. And then state tournament, we'll figure that out when we get closer. So you'll get an email with an assignment. Please confirm that you got that. That way we know that you're going to show up, and do show up. If you have any conflicts that come up, we know how that goes. You can contact me for First Legal League and contact Norm. Basically just reply to the email that you got. And like I said, confirm your assignment. Showing up is important. We don't overschedule, so we'll have one Discord manager scheduled for each event, and show up. So do confirm your assignment, and then like I said, I'm going to say this 3 times. If for any reason you can't make it, let us know. We've got contact information here, and we'll share the slide deck.
Yeah.
With you a little bit later. So mobile numbers and the office number is the same number for both of us. So
Right.
if you need to call.
I want to add one other thing to that. Barb said we'll schedule one of you per event. Actually, at the first event, we may schedule more of you, just because we're not quite sure what a load this is going to be. As we go through the assignments, this may be something where you're really busy for 15 minutes and then not doing anything for 15 minutes and then really busy.
Yeah.
We're modeling this after an invitational tournament that ran over the summer in Maryland, and they used Discord and had Discord managers to move people around, and their recommendation at the end of all that was the more people you had as managers of that, the better it was for moving teams in and out. So I think actually the first couple tournaments we may have 2 of you assigned and probably one of us staff members on call for it too.
Yeah.
Just to see how much of a load it is, whether we can handle it that way, and we'll go from there. So.
Yep. All right. Moving forward, we're going to talk about how tournaments work. This is not how tournaments will work. We will not be all together, shoulder to shoulder. General duties for the monitor. Hold on, I'm going to pick up my paper, or not. You join Discord at the start of your session. Change your nickname to be first name, last initial, and your role would be Discord monitor. I think we set that up ahead of time, what your role is. When teams come in, there's a couple of different ways. One, a different way between First Legal League and First Tech Challenge, that they ask for a role, and they don't have permission. They may not have permission to change their name, and so you may have to set their nickname. And again, it's for a team, it's team number, and then first name, last initial. And then once you're done, they'll send messages to a couple of different text streams, and once you're done with those, delete them. Otherwise, you might lose one that comes later because it will be all the way down at the bottom, and there'll be a lot to scroll through. So we're asking that you delete those once you're done. When volunteers come in, volunteers, we hope, have joined before their volunteer assignment, other volunteers besides the Discord admins, like referees and judges. They may need help getting themselves renamed or getting their role set if they haven't done that correctly prior to signing in. They all start in volunteer voice, which is just kind of a gathering place for them to talk to each other. You'll move teams to where they need to be, and volunteers should be able to move themselves, but like I said, may need help. You'd watch for messages from teams and from volunteers if they're having issues or questions, and then contact High-Tech Kids staff if needed. One or more of us will be on every session. So for First Legal League, these are the tournaments. They're a lot fewer than there typically are. We're doing like one per weekend, December 6th, December 12th, January 16th, 23rd, and 31st. And then our state tournament is February 27th. The general schedule for those, well, for a tournament, for a First Legal League tournament, what we're actually doing is robot runs in the week before. So Sunday to Wednesday, the week before the tournament on a Saturday or Sunday, we're doing the robot runs. And then the day of the tournament is when they do judging, so it's kind of, there's a lot of time slots through that week. Robot runs, and we're actually doing practice runs starting Sunday, but we don't expect any of you to sign up for those because a little late notice. There the team starts in a performance waiting area until they have all gathered and they're ready.
You'll notice, Barb, that I added a picture on the side of the
Oh, what it looks like.
website. So
Yeah. So this top one is performance waiting, and then there's a performance table. You know, we're using the same words we used before for red, blue, yellow, and green. There'll be a schedule that tells like what teams go to what color and what refs go to what color. So hopefully they remember, but they may not. So they may be asking, what color am I in? So the refs should move themselves to the color table. And then when the teams are ready, which means they've all gathered and are all there, which may mean some messaging back and forth, they get moved to the color performance. So for instance, red performance, they're there for about 30 minutes, and then they should leave and disconnect. We've told them how to do that. If they don't disconnect, you may get a message from a ref saying, I'm done. They're still here, in which case you move them out or disconnect them. And then when a ref, we're not necessarily moving another team in immediately, we're going to give the refs a little bit time to breathe. And so when they send a like red ready, then you would move the next team into the red performance room. So that's for the robot runs. For judging, there's kind of a lot of moving back and forth. Volunteers will check in and move to the volunteer voice. We have different divisions, and I think there's a picture on the next page here, but judges should be able to move themselves into the judging room that they're supposed to be in, and then they have to move to another room, and then back to another judging room, and then back to a different room. So they've got rooms where they're with teams and rooms where they're just with other judges, and they should be able to move themselves back and forth, but again, you might need to help. And then at the end of the day, they all move into the same room so they can talk about the teams that they saw. So here's the picture. We have this is for a team. Teams start in a judging waiting room until they've all gathered. That's like a general waiting room for all the divisions. Once the team is all there, then they get moved into the division waiting room, and there's this P1D2. They would need to know that as well, which one they're supposed to be in. So there's a waiting room for lakes, P1D2, and a waiting room for lakes, D1P2. That stands for project first, then design, or design first and then project, which is how we're doing the judging. So when the team is ready, they get moved to the appropriate room. They're there about 35 minutes. Like I said, judges kind of come and go, but hopefully they know how to do that on their own. And again, at the end, if the team doesn't leave and disconnect, you might be asked to move them out. And then again, when a judge says, I'm ready for the next team, you move the next team into the appropriate room with a P1D2 or a D1P2, if I said that right. And then keeping track of the division. And we'll have schedules of what teams are where, for sure. So this kind of shows the movement of judges around. The judges start in volunteer voice. Pink is the core values judge. Green is the design and programming judges. There's 2 judges there, and blue is the project judge. So there's 2 core values judges per division. One moves to the P1D2 rooms, and the other one moves to the D1P2 room, and they stay there the whole time. Project judge goes to the P1 room first. design judge goes to the D1 room first. Halfway through, the core values judge stays with the team, and those judges move to a deliberation room. And if they move to the wrong deliberation room, it's not too bad, but we've got two different ones that they could move to. If you move from P1 to judging to P1 deliberation, you move from D1 judging to D1 deliberation, and then those judges switch rooms. Now we're on the second half of the session, and so design goes to the D2 part of this, and project goes to the P2 part of this, and at the end, they all come together to deliberate, and at the end of the day, they all all of the judges come together to a single room to deliberate. So that's kind of a lot of movement, and we're hoping the judges can all do this on their own, but like I said, if they need help, that's kind of how you're moving them around.
I can talk about FTC.
Okay, good.
Okay, FTC, older age program. Robot runs for FTC are also in the week before the tournament, but the teams are doing them themselves. We have no role in that at all. They are running their robots with a cloud-based scoring system. They are entering their scores. So high-tech kids and actually our volunteers don't really have anything to do with their robot runs. Makes it slightly easier than FLL for this year. Mm-hmm. We actually have 7 FTC tournaments, including one weekend in December where we have both a Saturday and a Sunday. We have about a few over 100 teams this year, so most of these tournaments are relatively full. Okay. General day of the Saturday or Sunday, judges arrive, they check into the volunteer room. Similarly, eventually they'll move to individual judging rooms. And then our team interviews, team judging sessions, begin at 9. We actually have 45-minute kind of judging sessions. And then a lunch break, and then another 2 in the afternoon. So each group of judges is going to see 6 teams across there, and then at the end, the judges will deliberate. So that's kind of how the day flows. Not that dissimilar from FLL, except that funky picture with everything. That doesn't exist for FTC. Whew. We do a little bit of movement around, but not quite that much. So what are the Discord manager's duties at this point? Judges will arrive. If they've not already registered or been at a tournament, they will go to the request role channel and again say, hey, I'm a judge, and you'll give them you have to assign them the role of volunteer. You'll either give them their nickname or tell them how to set up their nickname and then delete that message, just like FLL. Judges should then move themselves to the volunteer voice room. Again, that's where their opening meeting is. That's the volunteers room, like we have in-person tournaments. And then they should also be able to move themselves to the specific division in judging. You see here, instead of lakes, woods, I've gone with fog, hail, ice, snow, sleet for names of our judging rooms. Teams will start arriving. FTC teams sometimes show up way too early so we'll have teams that for the 9 o'clock judging session that'll start coming in at like 8:15 or something like that. So as they arrive, they will come to a welcome screen, we'll see it, and they will be told to go to the request role. When they show up there, again, you assign them a role of either team member or coach and give them a nickname and then remove that message from the request role channel so you know it's taken care of. Teams, as we'll see later on, have very little knowledge of the whole server. Basically, they will see the general, the help, the staff channels, and then this judging waiting room. And that's all that teams will be able to see. That's all that teams will be able to move themselves into. Or make messages. Actually, judging waiting room. So again, teams should move themselves to the judging waiting room. If at some point you're with a group in the judging waiting room or doing that, and there's some team member that's not there, you might have to direct message them and say, move into the team waiting room, the judging waiting room, because the one thing on Discord you can't do is move a person who's not already in one of the rooms. So if they're just online and they're not in a room, you can't grab them from the online and drag them over to a room. They have to be in one of the channels. I kind of use channels and rooms interchangeably. You can move them from channel to channel, but they have to be in one. Probably 15 to 20 minutes prior to their judging session time, you will move the teams into the specific division waiting room. So the next FOG team will be moved from the waiting room down to the FOG waiting room. And that's just like FRL. It'll give them a chance to just be with the team themselves, make sure the whole team is there, and check their technology, make sure they're ready to go, practice a little bit. You'll have to verify that all the team members are present and only team members are present. And the coach will be in there and be able to verify that. They will probably notify you if there's someone in the room that shouldn't be. At their judging time, at the 9 o'clock judging time, you'll move the teams from the division waiting room to the division judging room. And yeah, this could be upwards of 8 to 10 people that you have to move individually. So if there's 4 judging groups, that means, within a couple minutes of this judging time, you're going to have to move 32 people. So that's why I think we'll start out with more than one and just see how it works. Similarly, at the end of the judging time, you'll move the teams out if they haven't already left on their own. Similarly, you'll disconnect. The other things you'll be doing, you'll continue through the day based on those 6 judging times. And then obviously watch for messages requesting help and deal with anything that comes up. So that's pretty much how the tournaments are going to go. They're very similar to each other. The question that Natasha actually asked way back is, what's Discord? Well, I think you probably all know that, but this is the Wikipedia definition for Discord. I thought it was actually not too bad. Basically, it's a messaging and communications platform. So why are we doing tournaments in Discord? Well, they have similar functions to Zoom, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, the WebEx, all those kind of things. It was initially designed by gamers for gaming, so it's relatively low latency on things. It's designed to handle a lot of people. I mean, Discord servers can have 10,000 people on it at a time. Now, they're obviously not all in the same channel or anything like that, but it can handle large groups. It's not necessarily to subscribe, in other words, pay for advanced functionality. It's free. Zoom is too, but there's limits to it. So you buy a Zoom account, and we went through this whole thing of, we would need a Zoom account for the FLL tournament and a Zoom account for the FTC tournament, or we'd have to create, both FLL and FTC rooms in the same Zoom account, and then do you have to get separate accounts for all your different channels. Also, the ability to assign roles and to limit those roles so that team members and coaches can't change their role or can't change their nickname to anything else. So once that nickname is assigned, they don't have the ability in our server to make it anything different. So we always know who they are. We always know who is in what specific rooms. So these are youth, and part of youth protection is knowing exactly who's with the kids at what time. And that one thing that Discord has is really the complete control of users. You can mute, deafen, move them, remove them, ban them if they're not the people they say they are or we think they are. And the other thing that's really nice is the ability to see exactly who is in what channel at all times. So on that picture where you saw the different channels, you'll see all the names in there, and in a judging room, all those names should either start with judge or the team number of that team that's being judged at that time. So this is our High Tech Kids website, and as Barb was showing you, I mean, people who have been volunteers for a while know this. Get involved and volunteer with us is where the volunteers go. If you are looking for the schedule of something, under programs, there's First Lego League Challenge and First Tech Challenge. And under these links, there will be the play schedules. And eventually each of these tournaments, oh, look at that, we have a roster of what teams are there. The schedule of what they're doing will also be on this page. So if for some reason you need to see that, Volunteer with Us page brings you to this volunteers. So in the volunteer resources, there are a number of little short videos and little descriptions for getting through the FIRST process. So registering nationally with the FIRST organization is sometimes tricky. They don't make it easy for you. But that's what we need to have you to do the background check and the consent and release form. And then down lower on this page, there's specific resources for FIRST LEGO League or FIRST Tech Challenge. And that's where things like the volunteer Discord tutorial, that video you saw here, except for the volunteer version, and information on the game and all that, just in case you want to figure all that out.
There's a training video second here.
Oh, right. Over here on this side, there's also the training link, which has training sessions we've done, and, oh no.
No, go back to resources,
Resources.
and we have a, over here.
Oh, in the middle?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
video.
FIRST LEGO League volunteer training videos.
Yeah.
That's where this one will be when we're done with it. There's also ones for the different judging and referees and that, just in case you're interested. So sign up to volunteer. This is where you go and sign up. If you are able to and interested in doing the weekday things with FIRST LEGO League,
Right up in the purple.
that is a separate sign up over here. So you sign up to, you have to do this sign up to volunteer to get us into our database. So we know who you are, how to contact you, and your availability for weekend events and what you want to do. And if you're interested and available for the weekday sessions, that's here on this separate link. And then you can select which one you're available for. And when you click on this, you'll come up with that page that was in Barb's tutorial with name, email, how many sessions, and the sessions availability for that. And this is the comments where you should put in here Discord manager. So she knows you don't want a referee, you want to be a Discord manager.